After watching Attack on Titan Season 2, with the knowledge that I have right now, it's actually hilarious seeing some of these character interactions. Like, you can't tell me that this wasn't basically one giant game of Among Us.
I called this emergency meeting because it's obvious that Ani wasn't working alone, and there are clearly other imposters among us.
Okay, that makes sense.
No! Ymir is a very good and amazing woman. She will never be the imposter.
Historia, I know you and Ymir have been getting freaky in the cabins. Everyone can hear you guys, and you know that's okay. It's 2026, but at least let Ymir defend herself.
It's okay, I got this. I understand. I'm not the most trustworthy person, but Connie's mom generally turned into a titan. Who's to say it's not hereditary? I say we vote him out just to be safe.
I'm with that.
Alright, let's do that.
That does make sense.
Wait, guys, how is that fair? I don't even get to defend myself. Is it because I'm bold? This is pretty girl privilege.
Berthold, I think they got us.
What are you talking about, bro? We're about to vote out Connie. Just
They got us, bro. Eren, I'm coming clean. Me and Berthold, yes, me and Berthold are the imposters and killed Marco because he saw us vent. I'm sorry, we had no other choice.
Got insane.
The monkey told us to do it.
What is bro talking about?
The monkey told us to do it.
Monkey?
Hi, enough messing around. You guys should know by now that Attack on Titan is still easily one of my favorite anime of all time, so you already know what time it is. Let's cut the yapping and get straight into the meat and potatoes. Just as a quick recap of where we left off, at the end of season 1, when Ani got exposed for being a female titan, she decided to rage quit the game and froze herself in a block of ice like Aang when the world needed him the most. And Commander Eren was taken in for questioning after deceiving the higher-ups and causing Avengers level damage to the city. The season starts off with the Scout Regiment doing cleanup after the battle when the NPC spots an actual Colossal Titan looking back at him like a haunted doll. This might be the first and last time I've seen Hanji so visibly terrified, absolutely shaken to the core. Yo, my guy, you can't just be grabbing me whilst I'm looking at this extraterrestrial behemoth chilling in the wall. I almost had a heart attack. This is Pastor Nick, and he tells Hanji that they can't let sunlight touch the Titan under no circumstances. Bro, he clearly knows some type of forbidden law, but right before we get to see Hanji question him, Sasageyo, Sasageyo, Shinzu wa Sasageyo. Hey, you know I had to. At one point, this opening was like the national anthem for anime fans. It brings back so much nostalgia. Like, you really just had to be there when people thought this image meant that there was gonna be a T-Rex Titan. Like, matter of fact, did this ever even get explained? Like, someone help me out in the comments. Anyways, Hanji takes him up to the wall and begins asking him why there's Titans in the wall, how he knows, and why he kept it a secret. That's when he tries to play the, oh, you must not know who I am card. But obviously that don't work with Hanji, so she just threatens to throw him off the wall. I low-key thought he was all talk, but bro was genuinely ready to die on this hill. Hanji decides to spare him, but even then he still refuses to speak. When the Dark Souls bells begin ringing as a scout rides through, screaming that the Titans have breached Wall Rose. Just so you guys understand how big of a deal this is, it would mean that all of the remaining people inside the wall would be forced into this small section of the map. It would basically look like a Fortnite FNCS endgame. That's when we cut all the way back to 12 hours earlier, as we see that the castle has been placed under supervision. And off topic, Reiner and Berthold playing chess together is kinda funny. Sasha puts her head on the table and says she can hear footsteps. We might have to put her up in the Hearing Hall of Fame. That's when Mike also spots a bunch of Titans as he confirms that Wall Rose has been boomed. Damn, there are only 9 Titans, so Mike starts aura farming and says a person only loses when he's given in. The cadets get told to scatter by horse and begin spreading the word about the Titans inside of Wall Rose when Connie says that his village is in the same direction the Titans came from. Connie gets permission to go look for them when these Titans begin tweaking out. This is the type of acrobatic nonsense Shida was pulling off in the U20 game. They begin hawking down the humans, so Mike goes in to attack them on their own. And I'm not gonna lie, at first I thought it was Raps, but this is the person that's considered the second strongest only to Captain Levi. Do you understand how tough you gotta be? It's like when Naruto Zenin was introduced as the fastest sorcerer, only second to Satoru Gojo. He starts drifting through the forest and begins putting belt to cheeks, instantly off-screening 5 of them. He decides that the other 4 aren't as dangerous, so chooses to call his horse and regroup with the others, when this hairy abnormal Titan that looks like an actual orangutan begins walking towards Mike's horse, grabs it like it's a honey bun before clocking back his arm and tossing it at Mach 10 speed, the same way Hoop Angel would claim they were throwing them at homeless people back in 2023. Mike barely dodges it when he gets grabbed and instantly eaten by Asmongold, but that's when when we hear a voice.
Wait! May I ask what you call that strange weapon of yours? I'm fairly certain we speak the same language. Perhaps you're too frightened to formulate a response? So you do know how to speak.
This behemoth tells Asmongold to wait before he squats down and squeezes his head into okra soup. I thought bro saved Mike's life for a second and that we were gonna get some type of good guy coming in to be Eren's mentor. Classic shonen trope, you know? But nah, he asks Mike what his ODM gear is and how it allows him to fly through the sky. Mike is obviously terrified, unable to speak, and this is the most natural response you can have to be in a situation like this. Just to put it into perspective, imagine it's the Stone Age and you and your Neanderthal friends are being hunted by saber-toothed tigers. Now one day, a bigger, hairier saber-toothed tiger pulls up and saves your life and begins speaking to you in fluent British English, talking about some, yes mate, please do excuse the rude behavior of my friend. My timbers would be shivered too. The monkey realizes Mike is too scared to have a conversation, so he just takes the ODM gear and goes on his jolly way. Hey, all in all, it's a pretty solid deal. An average daylight robbery in the UK, you know? But that's when Mike gets a flashback to all that aura farming he was doing in front of his shorty. I can't go out like a bum. Imagine someone was recording and posted on Twitter. Nah, I gotta at least pretend to put up a fight. And this is why I tell people that pride and ego are whispers from the devil, from the shaitan. Cause Mike gets up and lets out a roaring scream. So this ape gives all the other titans the order that they can move again. The same way Sukuna had everyone in Shibuya as they rush Mike, genuinely ripping him from head to toe. When it just cuts back to the beast titan talking about some,
well, I'll be damned. So you can talk.
Yo, early Attack on Titan is an actual horror show, just absolutely terrifying. Seeing this for the first time with no prior knowledge had me beyond flabbergasted. I thought this man was the god of the titans, the final boss on his Muzan timing. We got back to Eren, Mikasa and Armin when Armin says he believes that the walls are made out of the same material as the stuff Arnie sealed herself in, adding yet another layer of complexity because it means that titans have been protecting them from other titans. Eren and Mikasa's early relationship is so funny to me. Eren don't deserve all this kindness, bro. He's really the I hate my girlfriend final boss. We get to see a bit of Sasha's backstory, and she was a hunter who lived in the woods with her family, but started to struggle after the Wolmari incident. Her dad wanted to give up hunting and join the city folk because a lot of the remaining forest got cut down to provide more housing, which caused them to have a fight because Sasha wanted to remain a hunter. She makes it to her village when we see this horrific scene of a monster being eaten alive by a smaller titan, whilst her child can do nothing and just sit there awaiting her impending doom. I always find the size discrepancies in titans so fascinating. Like, this guy can't be any taller than Wembenyama. I feel like I might be able to run the ones with him low key. Luckily, that's when Sasha comes through and tries to axe off its head, but it doesn't seem to be sharp enough to cut it off completely. Sasha makes the tactical decision to leave the mother and save the little girl, so they run towards her horse when this smooth-brained idiot lets go of the horse, who fancies his chances and just decides to dip out. Yo, he must have heard what happened to his cousin Bojack last episode. He's not trying to get put in a saddle. The horses in Attack on Titan be going through hell, man. Peter, please do something. She grabs a bow and arrow and chooses to hold down the titan when she tells the kid to run away and find help, as she stays behind to fight it one-on-one. This is true heroism, I'm telling you. She continues to arrow spam and tries to take out both its eyes to hopefully immobilize it long enough to go away. So with her last arrow, she closes the distance and hits him with a British greeting before using Khabib level takedown defense to slip out the choke and run away. Sensational. This is not spoken about enough, man. I love Sasha so much as a character. People think she's such a surface level comedic relief character, but there's way more to her than meets the eye. She runs away when she sees her pops and the girl she saved riding on horseback. Immaculate. We cut back to Connie, Reiner and Breadstick, who made it to the village when we see that all the houses have been destroyed with only one titan left on top of Connie's old house that's unable to move, which leaves two questions. How did that titan get there, and why is there no bloodstains or dead bodies anywhere in the town? They were about to leave when the titan laying down on Connie's house makes a slight sound and barely whispers, "Connie." Damn. Connie swears that it might be his mother, but Reiner convinces him that he's going insane and tells him to lock in. They continue to slay titans while they try to pinpoint the hole in the wall. They had two parties going from either side, just for both parties to meet in the middle and report that there was indeed no sabotage in the wall. They decided to take refuge in an old abandoned castle. Eren, Armin, Mikasa, Levi, Hanji and the priest are traveling together when Hanji confirms Armin's theory on the wall being made out of titan skin, which means that if Eren can learn Arnie's ability and master titan hardening, they can plug the holes created and eventually reclaim their land. After the priest saw the doom and gloom on the faces of the people forced to relocate due to the falling of War Warrior, he finally falls a little bit and explains that he was told to monitor someone from the cadets, Krista, because apparently she is the key to getting a better explanation of things. Like, what? Why does everyone and their mother have their own secret identity in this show? Is this traitors? The entire Scout regiment sets out to retrieve her when we spin over to Historia and the remaining cadets hiding away in the castle as they await for sunrise. Ymir and Reiner are looking for food when she finds a tin can of herring. She passes it to Reiner, who also acknowledges that it's canned food before claiming that he has no idea what language is written on the packaging.
This, label, it's in another language.
Damn, the plot thickens once again. But right as we're about to get a cool confrontation, they get attacked by a bunch of titans. The scouts of ODM gear begin slowly taking down their numbers like it's cod zombies, but someone forgot to buy a door, so a titan managed to break in. Reiner starts to walk towards the bottom in the hopes of creating some kind of blockage when he gets jump scared by JD Vance. The titan almost grabs Reiner when he gets some kind of flashback to a titan eating his homeboy when he was younger. Luckily, Beerus pulls up and helps him out when Ymir and the rest drop a cannon onto it, taking it out. They go to retreat when this smooth brain Neanderthal Connie turns his back on the door where the original titan first came out of and almost gets turned into a Jamaican beef patty. Luckily for him, Reiner sacrifices himself, tanks the bite, picks up the titan and tosses it out the window. Now call me delusional, I understand Reiner is a trained individual, but I said it earlier, I really might be able to run the ones with one of them 2 or 3 meter titans for real, like. Reiner gets treated by Krista and this man is in love. He trying to bag himself a snow bunny.
You know, Krista, I got a little scratched up myself.
We see that the scouts are actually putting in work and manage to take a large majority of the bigger titans when they hear the aerodynamic equivalent of a missile coming towards them as horses get turned into Burger King mystery meat. A second round comes in and instantly takes out 2 scouts on impact. Who is calling in these tactical nukes? Turns out King Kong is chilling at the top of the wall like a war general, lobbing straight nukes and calling in for extra titans to rush the castle. The remaining scouts also end up getting wiped out in this gruesome nightmare fuel fashion, and man, you really couldn't pay me to join the military in real life, let alone join the scouts. Let someone knock on my door saying they need me on the front lines to fight against 13-foot labubus. I'm relocating and restarting my life over in China. Zing ding jan, bing ding where. The cadets are the only ones left alive and the titans are slowly bringing down the castle. Ymir says that she has a plan and tells Krista that she should live a life she can be proud of before she jumps off the building and transforms it to a titan? What? And they got the audacity to go and give us this nonsense backstory to further develop their already doomed Yuri's ship. Hi bro, we do end up learning a bit of background lore about Ymir, and she heard about this illegitimate girl from a noble family that they wanted to hide or kill. They ended up making her join the cadets, and that girl's name was Krista. All things considered, it's obviously that Ymir actually cares about Krista and is a good person who just got ruined by the circumstances of life. We cut back to the present and Ymir starts putting in work, taking out the titans like Werewolf Sonic and Sonic Unleashed. Everyone is obviously bamboozled that she has the same abilities as Eren when it comes to Reiner and Berthold, who say that it was Ymir's titan who ate their homeboy. Ymir is low-key reverse jumping them, but eventually starts getting overwhelmed because she doesn't want to use the tower as it might fall over and kill her little fine shit. Krista breaks out of her shell and turns out she's the one who wore the pants in the relationship because she says that Ymir isn't allowed to die and she needs to use everything in her power to win. She tears down the tower before jumping onto the tower and saving the remaining cadets. And hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. Why is Bobbity putting his hand in the same position as Eren? Is he about to... Let me not get ahead of myself. All jokes aside though, this took me 3 watch throughs to actually spot, and I refuse to believe any of you spotted this during your first watch through without any prior spoilers. Like, let me know in the comments if you did, because that means you might have some insane perception skills. You know, now that I'm getting a closer look at Ymir's titan, she kind of looks like my old English teacher. I'm sorry, I had to get that straight in. She used to hate on me for no reason. She managed to save everyone, but there are still titans left alive and she's basically out of stamina and gets hit with a WWE finisher before they begin munching on her like she's a family seafood boil. Krista is about to get ambushed by a titan, and low-key with the way Attack on Titan has gone so far, I thought she was about to get clipped, but my nonchalant goth baddie Mikasa pulls up with the other members of the scout regiment and saves them. And even Eren got in on the action. I'm pretty sure this might be his first and last ODM titan kill ever. The rest of the gang also get to find out that Ymir is a titan, and Krista reveals that her real name is actually Historia. This is so much much information to take in. The scouts regroup on top of the wall, and his story is explaining to Hanji that Ymir was saving them and that her intel about the Titans could be useful. Reiner doesn't seem to be doing so good mentally, as this is the second time he's almost died to a Titan. But I can't help but notice that Banana Split is giving him the meanest side eyes. Hannes pulls up and says that there is no breach on War Rose, which means that somehow, some way, the Titans spawned in randomly. The tension seems to be rising when Reiner calls back Eren and asks him for a chat, when out of absolutely nowhere, he tells Eren that 5 years ago it was him and Benimaru who broke the wall and launched the attack on humanity. He's saying that him and Boruto are the armored and colossal Titan, and as long as Eren comes with them, the walls will remain standing and no one else will get hurt. Banana Pudding is genuinely flabbergasted at his day one just backdoored him. Reiner is the type of guy to get caught in hide and seek and take everyone down with him. Yo, come on guys, they caught us. Yes, us, me and you. On a side note though, how did no one hear them except for Mikasa? They were talking so loud.
Hard to find. I'm the armored Titan. He's the Colossal.
I guess they were high up, so it must have been windy. Eren honestly reacted a lot more calmly than I would have expected when we see a short flashback to last night where Armin explains that when Reiner was seemingly attacked by the female Titan, he may have carved Eren's position onto her during the encounter, so they become the first suspects. Eren tries to tell Reiner that he's just tired and he needs to lie down. Bro's coping the same way people cope the first 24 hours after finding out that girl is going. Everyone has now clocked onto the fact that Eren is alone with them, and this eerie music plus the constant angle switches make this such a tense moment. Reiner says, "I've been here too long for my own good," before claiming he let himself devolve and get carried away. He takes off his cast and begins using Titan regeneration to heal his wounds before walking towards Eren to try and capture him. Mikasa wasn't with all that, and Beyblade spins on them, leaving them both on 2 HP. They begin to transform as both the armored and colossal Titan spawn in on the wall. Reiner grabs Eren whilst Beelzebub grabs Ymir before they descend down the wall. Eren obviously feels betrayed. His day ones, the people he ate, slept and fought with, turned out to be spies sent here to capture him. Can you imagine that? I think everyone has felt betrayal at some level, and I can confirm that it's one of the worst feelings of all time. This entire scene in general might be top 5 scenes in all of anime. Matter of fact, might be top 5 scenes in all of fiction. This is just perfect. Eren's sadness quickly turns to rage as he transforms into his Titan form and Superman punches Reiner into the wall. They both land on the floor when the remaining scouts instantly mobilize to take down the colossal Titan. This is the level of fearlessness needed to be a scout. I would have been frozen like I was doing the mannequin challenge, but the scouts are easily able to dodge, so they go for the nape when the colossal Titan begins emitting steam to render their ODM gear useless. We return to Eren versus Reiner, but bro just got hit with a Mike Tyson overhand. Matter of fact, this might be the devastation Anthony Joshua hit Jake Paul with. He sent the 16-foot Titan flying through the air like a sack of basmati rice. This might be the real Drago. Eren is laid out flat with nothing but bad intentions on his mind, and it's fair. They basically sent his mom back to the lobby and ruined his life. He's talking to Reiner like these.
I don't want to meet nowhere. Pull up in front of my house. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to pull up in front of my house. Pull up in front of the motherfucking precinct and let's bang out. Right down the block. You know where's that? You studied my whole neighborhood. Or pull up in front of the Kmart and let's bang out and let's do it on camera. I throw my life away, you throw your life away right now. Right now. Let's do it for the camera. Right now. And if you win, I'll make sure I got like $70,000 in my pocket. If you body me, you can take the money. Right now. I hate you, nigga. Let's die. Right now.
Reiner is walking down Eren when Mikasa goes for the cut, but because of his armor, her blades are basically useless. Eren gets up and once again I thought he was about to get his main character rage amp, so he goes for a right hook, but Reiner just eats it and instantly counter punches like Miyata, sending Eren into the sky, got him looking like Satoru Gojo. That hit was so bad. He got flashback of when Arnie was buddying him during sparring. She showed him a technique that allowed him to take down someone stronger than himself, and by the way she shot that takedown, I can tell she definitely spent 2 to 3 years in Dagestan and forget. And off topic, I understand why Mikasa got so angry, like she just watched her man and the socially awkward blonde-haired Russian girl wrestle on the floor while she whispered in his ear. Mikasa challenged Arnie to put up the fisticuffs and Arnie was low-key ready to get active. I wonder who won through. Like to this day, they need to show us, man. Stop with all these off-screen fights, man. This isn't One Piece. Eren wakes up and goes for a punch before shooting the nastiest judo throw I've ever seen, Sharinganing Arnie's technique. He's on top, but Reiner breaks free, so Eren puts bro in an armbar like Prime Mighty Mouse. I owe Eren an apology. I wasn't really familiar with his game. He breaks Reiner's arm and retreats towards the wall when Hanji tells him to try and break one of his legs so he can be given enough time to climb over the wall. And this interaction kills me every single time. I know Hanji is thinking up some of the freakiest stuff of all time right now. Reiner closes the distance, takes down Eren, so Eren tries to put him in a leg lock, but it's not working. Reiner tries to shoot another takedown, so Eren genuinely puts him in a guillotine choke, almost blowing his back out. Reiner begins moving Eren underneath Benson as he gives him a signal to come from the top rope and drop onto them. Wow, what a squabble. This is one thing I believe conventional mecha / kaiju anime often lack, like the sheer amount of hand-to-hand combat and actual real-life martial arts used in this fight alone was just incredible. The drop caused a giant explosion that allowed Reiner to escape with Eren, Beethoven and Ymir. Mikasa is having a mental breakdown because this is the second time she's lost her boyfriend. Uwen and the remaining scouts pull up with the horses when Hanji gathers her remaining strength to tell them that they are likely hidden away in the forest to regain their strength before the long journey back home. She ended up being correct as Eren wakes up in the forest together with Ymir, Buzz Lightyear and Reiner. His arms are still regenerating, so he's unable to transform, and they are also surrounded by a bunch of titans. And you know, when you see Eren and Ymir like chilling like this, they kind of look like big sister and little brother. I wish we got more character interaction between them. Ymir and Reiner are having a full-blown conversation whilst Eren is strategizing how he can escape and or slam out Reiner. After a while, Reiner randomly switches and starts yapping about going back to their cabins and getting a promotion from the scouts, and even talks about marrying Historia. That's when Eren begins crashing out because he thinks Reiner is mocking them, when Ymir realizes that Reiner damn near developed split personality disorder due to his method acting as a soldier. He was so immersed into playing the role that he's actually started to think that he's a scout fighting against the titans. It even got so bad that when he fed Marco to a titan, bro randomly switched up and said, "Guys, why is Marco being eaten?" Eren doesn't feel an ounce of pity for him and basically starts cussing him out and says that they have no right to be playing the victim right now. And hey, I'm with him. They offed his mom, destroyed his hometown, assisted in the slaughtering of his people, but God forbid they stand up and fight back against the injustice? Yeah, back it up, bro. Eren asked them what was going through their head when he told them how he lost his mother, and Bluetooth responds by saying he feels sorry for Eren. Not gonna lie, that would have sent me over the edge. What do you mean you feel sorry for me? Bro said he pities me. Who's he feeling, like Escanor?
You're not warriors or soldiers. You're just murderers. Psychotic mass murderers who snuffed out the lives of countless people that never did you any wrong. Then stop acting like you've got any right to feel sorry for yourself! We're living in a hell you two created! Are you proud of yourselves? You're not one of us, you've never been! You're not even human anymore!
Man, this scene, the emotion, the dialogue, the writing, the future implications, everything is just perfect. I know people could make a 40-minute video just breaking this down. Attack on Titan really is the greatest. After their shouting match, Eren calms down and he is talking to them crazy. He was sounding exactly like Invincible when he fought with Conquest. Ymir interrupts them and proceeds to pull off the nastiest read of all time. She says that the Beast Titan is likely pulling the strings and he's spawning in Titans to get intel and gauge the strength of the scouts. And look at their faces. They know they just got read like a book. Reiner realizes that Ymir knows more than she lets on, so offers her to join their side as long as his story is kept safe. Eren asks Ymir who the real enemy is, and all I can say is, you have no enemies. The truth is, nobody has them. Alright, it's not the time right now, it's not the time, I'm sorry. It seems like Ymir has decided to side with Reiner and Batista since it will guarantee the survival of Historia, which I guess, how could they even guarantee that? I feel like Ymir is smart enough to know that if she sides with Eren and then escapes using her small titan form, she'd probably be able to take Historia and just go live in the countryside or something. Like, I don't know. Someone is gonna have to explain this one to me in the comments. Luckily the scouts are closing in, so Reiner tries to tie up Eren, but this is Eren we're talking about. He was always gonna go out squabbling. Ymir tells Reiner that she can see Historia and they need to go back to get her, but Reiner says that ain't possible, so Ymir begins crashing out when we see her backstory. She was an orphan that got sold to some kind of church, and they turned her into some kind of like idol and said she's the descendant of a king, so a bunch of people started worshipping her. It kind of reminds me of Lucky Scion's backstory from TB Hero X. Her life was honestly pretty decent until the church got stormed by the authorities, so they sold her out to the government and had her turn into a titan in this whole different country. Like, this is likely the same place Reiner and them came from, so she was basically a mindless titan for over 6 years, and when she woke up, she was next to Reiner's group and instinctually ate one of their friends called Marcel, who was a titan shifter, which turned her back into a human, which brings us back to the present day. Ymir says that her titan ability is best suited for a forest like this, and tells Reiner that she could easily transform, snatch Eren, and return to the scouts. She says she has a plan to get Historia. As long as they cooperate, she won't betray them. She transforms and regroups with the scouts, so we get this cool scene of them talking to Ymir's titan form, but she isn't responding even though we saw her talk talk in her Titan form like a few episodes ago. She's scanning the battlefield like prime Sergio Busquets until she finds Historia and leaps in and swallows her before swinging through the trees like a monkey. She regroups with Reiner, who also transforms as they get ready to run all the way back to the other wall. The scouts continue the pursuit on horseback as Eren uses the military police as bait to hold off the Titans from following them. Yo. Man, I don't know how people see these types of scenes and think Eren wouldn't support future Eren. Like, okay, let me chill out, I'm getting ahead of myself, man. I need to calm down. Historia attempts to talk no jutsu Ymir into joining back with the scouts when Benzema starts actually gaslighting her into saying that this is all her own fault. What? Ymir thinks that if she goes with them, her crimes will be overlooked and she might be allowed to live. We are really watching Ymir fall for the oldest trick in the book. Hey, listen here, boy. If you just confess to this murder, I'll talk to the judge and get you a reduced sentence. Hey, maybe I'll even get you community service. How does that sound, eh? All we need is a confession. Come on, bruh. I thought she was smarter than this. Eren wakes up and sees that the scouts are all trying to save him. Mikasa cuts one of Ymir's eyes before almost booming birth control in one hit. Reiner protects them with his hand, but Mikasa genuinely has nothing but bad intentions in her eyes. I'd be scared too if I was bro. Like, look. She instead decides to solo out Ymir when Historia steps in to talk to Mikasa, and let me tell you, when people call Mikasa a bland character, I really question their reading comprehension, because listen to this speech.
Sorry, I don't have any heartstrings left for you to tug on. You want compassion? Move on. You want fair? Tough shit. Time's wasted. Pick your side, Krista. Eren, or the bitch I'm gonna kill.
All the remaining cadets from the 104th also pull up, and it's honestly sad to see them all cry out. The guilt tripping did seem to have some kind of effect when Bellisi says that everything he was doing wasn't his choice, nor was it an act. He actually sees all the cadets as friends. He basically said, I didn't choose this life chose me. Low-key, bro kinda pulled a reze. Came in with an objective, but ended up falling in love with the opposition. Mikasa don't care about all that when we see Commander Eren leading a bunch of Titans towards Reiner to create a two-way pincer attack. Reiner tries to break through like a running back, but eventually gets tackled to the floor as they are beginning to cannibalize him. Now, I've actually got like a theory as to why regular Titan shifters focus their attention to eating Titan wielders over regular humans. I think that they instinctively know that if they get to eat one of the smarter Titans or one of the like Titan wielders, they will return back to normal. So they would rather ignore the regular humans and just focus all their attention to eating one of the bigger Titans at a chance of returning back to like their original state. Like, I don't know if this has ever been confirmed, but I don't know. I feel like it makes sense. Like, Commander Eren drops yet another 10 out of 10 speech and tells everyone that they need to recover Eren Yeager from the armored Titan and retreat. This man could convince me to join the Spartans in their 300 versus 300,000 battle against the Persian army. Well, I'll be damned. No way they actually got my goats. And even in the face of death, bro commands his allies to continue their pursuit to victory. This guy is a certified dog.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
Mikasa breaks through the Titans' defense like any attacker against Manchester United and barely misses Reiner, but ends up getting caught lacking by a Titan. Luckily, Jean saves the situationship. Armin pulls up, and this is the Armin I wish we got more of. He starts rage baiting in ways I have never seen before. He noticed that Borsak had a crush on Arnie, so started lying to his face, telling him that Arnie was being tortured and asked him if he's okay with just abandoning her. Damn, don't hate the player, hate the game. To be able to dance with the devil, you must let go of your humanity. Bowser falls for the 10 out of 10 rage bait, letting down his guard and instantly gets speedless by none other than Commander Eren. Oh my goodness, this man is actually the GOAT. One arm missing like Shanks and shrugged off a whole Titan to come and land the final blow that inevitably frees Eren. Open shot, fate of the universe on the line where the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth, you better hit it. I want Eren Smith! The scouts all start their retreat, so Reiner begins tossing 15-foot Titans like he's throwing dodgeballs. I keep forgetting how insanely strong these guys are. Eren and Mikasa end up losing their horse, and a cool little detail I want to point out is these purple flowers are always present whenever a canon event is about to happen. Let me know in the comments if you know anything about the meaning or symbolism behind it. A Titan starts approaching Eren and Mikasa, and I was there like, they'll be alright, Mikasa can just blitz him. But as it gets closer and the camera pans up, we see that it's none other than the smiling titan from season 1 who killed Eren's mother. She goes for a swing, but my favorite father who stepped up comes through and tanks it. Harness is cheesing ear to ear at the opportunity to spin back for the last time he backed out. He's kinda mixing her up. Mikasa is too badly injured, so frees Eren, who tries to transform, but no matter how much he bites himself, it's simply not working. And this scene honestly confirms to me that Eren was mentally ill. He's out here biting entire chunks out of his hand. Me personally, if I became a titan, I'd have to hop on Amazon and get myself one of them rings Arnie was using in season 1. Harness managed to cut her down by the Achilles, but let his guard down, causing him to get grabbed. I don't know why, but I really thought Eren would finally get some plot armor on his side. But nah, Harness gets snapped in half like a glizzy. Like bruh, this sends Eren into a frenzy of pure sadness. He's really 0-2 against the same titan. Mikasa ends up trying to comfort him in the middle of the battlefield, and I gotta respect it. Mikasa is out here shooting her shot whilst everyone around her is dying. She tells Eren how grateful she is that he always protects her and cares so much for her, as she low-key starts leaning in for their kiss when Eren gets up and smokes the wide open layup. What are you doing, son? Lock in! He uses titan regeneration before punching the smiling titan, as every single titan shifter in the battlefield senses one of his Haki nuts. He finally gets his Zenkai boost as he starts controlling every single titan to eat the smiling titan. They start jumping the Jeepers Creepers out of her, and I think Eren has the ability to control titans similar to how we saw King Kong Titan control like a small army of them at the start of the season, which is why Reiner and Berthold wanted to capture him. Reiner starts hawking Eren down, so he releases yet another Haki nut as he commands all the titans to jump him. Man, I know Shanks is jealous right now. The scouts retreat, but this idiot Ymir decides that she's going back to defend them from the titans? I genuinely don't understand her thinking to this day. Wouldn't it have made 10 times more sense that she just stayed with the scouts, especially after she just saw Eren's potential? Like, make it make sense. Anyways, most of the main cast end up surviving, including my goat Erwin. They call in Connie to explain the situation with his mother, when Erwin, Pixis and Hanji all come to the conclusion that all titans were previously humans and got turned into titans somehow, some way. The plot just continues to thicken as the season ends, revealing this majestic light skin exiting the carcass of the beast titan. Man, this show is something else. To say it's a masterpiece is an understatement of doom and despair. I could talk about it for hours on hours on hours. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I wanted to start 2026 off with a bang, so yeah, YouTube think you'll like this video on screen next, so check it out. I also got a second channel where I post cartoon content, so check that out too. Please subscribe, and yeah, that's it from me. Peace.
These bitches love so, oh, and they're knowing, fucking with